Hi everyone, thank you for listening to Millennial Talks. My name is Rebecca Gray, and I will be hosting today with Malik Webb and Joe Petroni.
Hey.
How you doing?
So we've got a couple of things that we're going to talk about today, and I think the first thing that we're going to talk about is the very controversial Trump travel ban. When it first became an executive order, it faced even protests and just a lot of people speaking out against it, and then even the Ninth Circuit Court of California, saying that it was unconstitutional. And now we heard yesterday that the U.S. Appeals Court has upheld it, and we heard about an hour ago that the White House is currently rewriting the travel ban to see if it's constitutional and try to, get it to go into effect.
It's about time, I think. I don't know how any of these courts could have, passed this travel ban. It's clearly unconstitutional.
Well, why is it unconstitutional?
Well, because it's targeting people's religions. It's literally targeting people by religion, saying they can't come to this country.
But it's really not, because I think if you look at the countries that it's impacting, there's
the Muslim ones? Yeah, I think I noticed that.
Well, there's actually 40 other countries that have, a high Muslim population, and they are not impacted at all. So how do you think that it relates to religion?
Well, I think they just didn't want to make it blaringly obvious, but I think it's obvious enough what the Trump administration is trying to do. He said before he got elected that he was going to be targeting Muslims, saying not allowing them into the country, and then we get this travel ban. I mean, it's amazing. I really think it's amazing that any of the appellate courts passed this or thought that this was legal. But
well, what about the fact that these 7 countries that are impacted by the travel ban have the largest percentage of ISIS activists in them?
See, that right there needs to be taken into huge consideration. These 7 countries have the 7 largest conflicts with America's interests regarding safety, and we are at war with terrorism, Islamic extremist terrorism, and that we've been that way since I was 6 years old. So we've got to really think about which countries we're letting in.
yeah, but then you have cases like these people. I mean, yeah, there are terrorists in these countries like ISIS, and obviously you don't want to let them in. But then you got these cases of people who worked with our military who all of a sudden are not allowed into this country.
Well, there's a trend. People that have worked with our military have turned on us and used those weapons against us in the future. So what are we supposed to do?
No, but we're talking about people who currently worked with our military in recent conflicts in the hope that they'd be able to live in our country just, and live happy, fulfilling lives.
But I mean, I think when you talk about it like that, you're under the impression that we're just not going to allow anyone in the country, which is just false.
Well,
the whole purpose of the travel ban is to be able to put a system into place to properly vet these people coming into our country.
But that's the thing, these people have already been vetted, especially these people who aided our military, and now they have to go through a whole other process of vetting. Meanwhile, they have to stay home in these countries where they're, most of the time hated by their neighbors because they helped, Americans, under the constant death threats and the threats of violence and kidnappings from their families. It's just, I think it's just crazy. I think it's just way too far.
I think it's not as crazy as people want to make it seem. I really think that one of the big problems with not having more restriction is that we're going to keep having these terrorist attacks. Now, you allow this ban to stay on. You rewrite the system, knowing that we are at war against primarily these Islamic terrorist organizations that are largely based in these 7 countries. We could have went for all the Muslim countries, but we didn't. Well, this administration didn't. So
and I think that's proven. It's not a ban on religion. It's a ban on Iran, Sudan, Iraq, Syria, Yemen, Libya, and Somalia. It's they have the strongest ties to ISIS, and it's important that we protect the people living in this country. It's important. It's only a temporary ban as well. It's important to remember it's 120 days. That's that's shorter than President Obama's ban on Iraq refugees in 2011.
I don't know. I just think it's funny that all these countries that we've sort of stuck our foot into, invaded militarily, got our business mixed with their business, and all of a sudden we can't. Now all of a sudden we're not letting them into our country. So we're just saying it's okay to have wars in their country, but if they want to bring their problems to our country, oh, hell no. I guess not.
So you're saying that they should, we should be allowing potential terrorists into the country?
I didn't say potential terrorists, but definitely the people who freaking supported our military. I don't think that's too much to ask for at all.
I mean, but we do have a plan in place to allow 50,000 more, refugees at the end of the temporary ban.
At the end of the 120 days? Yeah, let's see if they make it till then. That'll be interesting. Let's see how many, what'd you say, 50,000? Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see. I'm going to bet there are going to be 30,000 left by the time the 120 days is up. That's going to be my bet. How about you, Malik? How many do you think will be left?
I bet that if 20,000 were to disappear, like you said, 20,000 would fill the spot and take the position. Everyone wants to come to America to have an opportunity for a better life. So I really doubt that there won't be the full 50,000 coming in after 120 days. You're gonna see 120. You're gonna see after 120 days a new system, a safer system. You're gonna see. I have to think about the positive. I can't think about the negative because that's not how we move forward. I have to think about how this ban keeps my country safe.
I envy you for that, Malik. Think about the positive. All I'm thinking of is, maybe it will be a new system. Maybe it will be a safe system, but it will be a racist system. That's what I think. And an unconstitutional system. Maybe not racist, but Islamophobic.
It's not unconstitutional. How is it unconstitutional?
Literally targeting people by their religion.
No, we're not. We're 100% not. We're targeting the people based on the countries that they are from, the countries that have extremely strong ties to ISIS. And it's not, I don't know who is going to say it's unconstitutional that a country gets to determine who can come inside of its borders.
You just heard me say it. I mean, sure, if we were just targeting people, or I don't know. It just seems like we are just targeting them based on their religion, and I think that is wrong. I think that's violating the First Amendment.
What is your response to the 40 additional predominantly Muslim nations that are not impacted by this travel ban at all?
I think that they'll soon be impacted. I think this is just a prelude to what's eventually going to happen. A new age of isolationism. That's what I see coming. That's what I see Trump giving us. And if we don't resist it now, then it's just gonna be that much easier to implement.
You talk about this resistance. This resistance, every decision by this administration will be opposed, I believe, 10 times harder than any decision that was opposed in the Obama administration. We are living in an age right now where the administration within the White House will be opposed on every decision they make, no matter what.
Let us hope so.
I know it seems like we're going straight for the jugular with going at the major Muslim nation, but that's not the goal. The goal is to get a hold on Islamic terrorism. The extremists have got to go.
What is your plan to combat terrorism if we don't start with protecting our own borders?
I don't understand what's wrong with the system we had in place before this travel ban. I mean, it seems like the terrorist attacks that have happened recently have been homegrown terrorists, not so much terrorists from these other countries. And to be completely honest, ISIS is scary, ISIS is bad, all these terror groups are taking over these chaotic countries. I'm not afraid of ISIS. Are you kidding me? This isn't like Vietnam. We're not fighting Russia. We're fighting freaking a bunch of people living out in the sand trying to kill people. These people have hardly any technology, are living in the ruins of a crippled country. Right? I don't fear them, really. I don't fear them coming over and attacking our democracy. I really don't. And I think that this travel ban is just excessive.
I am one to say that I do fear them. I do think about the extremists and what they're capable of. I do think about the fact that they are one of the last great monotheist religions, single God, and they, from their beginning till now, are the second largest religion followed on our earth. So as far as power goes, they don't need to have the money right now. But they do have one thing going for them, and that's faith. And with faith, just like Catholicism, you're gonna constantly battle. I feel like we're living in a new crusade. Just different people waging the wars, different people supplying the armies. I'm on neither side. I'm just trying to survive through all this, and I believe that any decision that the U.S. makes towards keeping this country safe is literally what's best for the world in general. Because as long as we're safe and we slowly keep moving towards full equality, a true democracy, we make the necessary steps that we make towards making the world better. Because where can you say on the world is better than America? Nowhere. I'm sorry, there's nowhere on this planet that's better than America. You can go there, they come here, there's more opportunities, hands down. So, if we let this place right here, this heaven, go to hit the fan and ignore everybody else and what's going on in our world, we're going to be just like them.
I'll have to agree with you there, Malik.
Savages.
I do believe that this is the best country. But I don't think the travel ban is necessarily a great idea.
It is a great idea. It shows a message. Well, you have to put yourselves in people's shoes. Every step of the day, you have to put yourself in their shoes. And who's the enemy? Who's the enemy right now? Islamic terrorists, the extremists, the ones who are willing to strap a bomb to a child's chest and send him to kill one of our troops because they believe that it is for the cause.
Why then does this ban apply to people who have supported our military?
Right now, anyone who decided to go back to one of these major nations before the ban was proposed got caught in a situation that they had nothing to do with. As far as, moving forward and allowing them to come in later, I'm pretty sure they'll be allowed to come in later.
All right. How about you, Becca? Any final thoughts on the ban?
My final thoughts are that I stand behind our government's ability to protect our borders, and I think, agreeing with Malik, we need to do everything in our power to prevent, extreme Islamic terrorism from getting in.
I feel a little outnumbered.
I think that, in the coming days and the coming weeks, it will be interesting. And I'm interested to see what kind of revisions, if any, the White House makes before a new executive order is signed, if one is even going to be signed.
I think the fact that they're doing revisions at all is kind of, just evidence that it probably wasn't such a great idea to begin with. But
right, I would agree with, not that it was a bad idea, but I do think that, the Trump administration stepped down a little too soon. President Trump needs to stand up and, fight for things that are going to protect this country, especially when a large percentage of the citizens in this country support it.
And he will be doing that soon. He'll be going straight down to fight and impale. So I'm pretty sure this ban will go back up. And next time, it may not be for 120 days, like you said. It may be longer to really get things straight. And people shouldn't look at this as directly a negative. There's positives that come out of this. And a lot of people don't take the history into account. A lot of people haven't read those books that needed to be read to know why this is normal. A country's allowed to close their borders whenever they want.
We didn't get to the appointees.
No.
We'll have to do that next time, I guess.
No.
We'll have to do that next time, I guess.
Yeah, we're just about out of time, but I think that by the next time we record, there's going to be some new information about the appointees, and we'll even have.
And I can't wait.
A couple more to talk about.
I can't wait to debate you on the appointees.
Oh yes, I'm looking forward to it.
I don't think you have a leg to stand on. I really don't. But then again, I don't think Trump's made a good decision yet. But that's just me.
It's when you're not putting yourself in other people's shoes. You have to put yourselves in other people's shoes and at least see how it's positive for them and make it positive for you.
So thank you everybody for listening, and if you tune in next time, you'll get to hear us debate the appointees, which will be definitely interesting.
The great, completely not racist Jeff Sessions, or the extremely overqualified, what's her name?
Betsy DeVos.
Betsy DeVos.
Song I wrote, you might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy.